Now to a topic that has been making headlines in the last week, and that is the government's plan to revive the crippled public sugar mills in the country. A treasury memorandum tabled in Parliament by National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichungwa indicates that the government wants to write off debts amounting to 115.8 billion shillings it is owed, alongside the Kenya Sugar Board. The executive wants members of Parliament to approve the write-offs and the adoption of leasing plans for public sugar companies as opposed to privatization. This story was produced by Gatete Njoroge.
In what has been a week of withdrawal of cases related to the running of Miwani Sugar Company, following a directive by President William Ruto, the government is now outlining 15 strategic interventions which will guide the revival of 5 public sugar mills in the country, which have been experiencing financial distress since the late 1990s. A memorandum by the National Treasury tabled before the National Assembly by the Leader of Majority Kimani Ichungwa on the 22nd of August outlines 15 proposed strategic interventions which will revive the sector and also ensure implementation of the Sugar Industry Stakeholders Task Force report of 2019. The proposals include bringing on board private capital, expertise and modernization of sugar mills with adequate sugar to allow them to run efficiently and operate on commercial principles. Enhance cane development in both nucleus estates and smallholder outgrower farms. Address stakeholder and community sensitivities on permanent divestiture of land, lease model to be executed by unbundling the nucleus estate land and the factory land, expedite the leasing of 5 sugar companies to facilitate rehabilitation and expansion, merging of Chemelil and Miwani Sugar Companies, restructuring of the sugar companies' balance sheets, regulations of factory zones, government support for smallholder cane farmers to develop the crop and enhance productivity, enhancing efficient settlement of disputes and enforcing zoning to incentivize investors in the sector. On why the government prefers leasing to privatization, the National Treasury has outlined 9 benefits of leasing, which include enhanced livelihoods of farmers, modernization of the sugar mills, generation of taxes, cut public sector financing, and improve competitiveness. For Miwani Sugar Company, with debts relating to the government adding up to 8.7 billion shillings, Treasury recommends a revitalization committee be appointed to work with the board, county governments, and other key stakeholders to identify and implement an effective restructuring plan. Treasury in its memorandum has put the debt status of the 5 public sugar mills at 128 billion shillings, with Nzoia leading with a debt of 62.6 billion shillings. Miwani is second with a debt of over 26 billion shillings. It is followed by Miwani, which is under receivership with debts amounting to 22 billion shillings. Chemelil and South Nyanza follow suit. The government attributes the challenge of the public-owned sugar mills to, among other things, poor governance, lack of capital, and high debt portfolio and declining cane yields. The National Treasury has asked the National Assembly, currently on recess, to consider and approve the write-off of loans owed by the 5 public mills to government and the Kenya Sugar Board, amounting to 65.7 billion shillings as of 30th of June. Approve the Cabinet decision directing the National Treasury CS to write off tax penalties in interest amounting to 50 billion shillings as of 30th June and any other additional interest and penalties that have accrued since then. Treasury also wants Parliament to allow vacation of the privatization model approved by Parliament in 2015 and also give a nod to the leasing model for the 5 publicly owned sugar mills.